We're talking baseball with Randy Doran, the Belle Fourche baseball coach. Another season in the books, Randy.
Yeah, had another successful year with our summer programs here up in Belle Fourche. Our varsity, our senior legion, post 32 team had the best year we've had since reorganizing a few years back. We started the year off. We played in the Spearfish tournament in early June. Went 3-1 in that tournament, finished in second overall. Then the next week, we were down at the Sturgis baseball rally. Had another successful run. We went 3-1 in that one as well. Finished runner-ups down there in Sturgis, and then we took our seniors to Omaha, Nebraska again this year for the College World Series. We were able to see the first game of the College World Series finals against Florida and LSU. Awesome game, great experience for those boys. They came down, they played a bunch of, the good thing about the tournament we went to this year is every team we played was a Legion team from the state of Nebraska. Some really good competition. We were able to beat a good team out of Springfield during that time down there. Again, but overall it was just a great experience for those guys to get out of South Dakota, play some baseball, and then be able to watch some really competitive baseball at the college level. You know, the best baseball there is at that time of the year. And again, it was a great experience for the boys. Something that, you know, we really hang our hat on, and giving our players that experience as being part of our program. And, you know, we could have asked for a better turnout for how that trip went. You know, the rest of the year, you know, they did some great things. The most wins in a single season with our Legion program this summer. But a lot of that is because we had the most experienced Legion team we've had. We're able to field a team of all graduates. Our last home game of the year, every person that started in that 9-man lineup had graduated high school already. You know, there's a lot of Class A teams that can't even say that. So just a testament to the guys sticking it out. We had 4 players, Sean Wafelt, Dalton Davis, Gabe Heck, and Alex Ferguson, that came back after their high school careers were done last year for this extra year because they were age eligible. We had, like I said, a handful of players that were able to play that had just graduated high school this year as well. And, you know, it just really makes a difference. The first year I was coaching here, it was still a lot of those same guys, but they were 15, 14-year-olds playing varsity. Now we had 17, 18-year-olds playing varsity, and, you know, it's just the improvement they've made through the years has just been outstanding. We finished our year off in regionals again this year. You know, the one thing with Class B regionals is based off of random draw. You know, we drew Platte Geddes. They're a very talented ball club, and, you know, they got a lot of depth, a lot of pitching depth. And, you know, we fell that first game. You know, we started off pretty good. Dalton Davis went almost 4 innings of perfect baseball on the mound, but it made a couple mistakes here and there. And they're a team that you make 1 or 2 mistakes, and they're really going to make you pay for it. And we're able to get a win against Stanley County, keep our season alive. And then, you know, we just fell short against Gregory down at the regional tournament with those guys. And that's kind of where our senior season came to a close. But, you know, you hate to see it end at regionals. You know, we had a team that we wanted to do more with, but we did a lot of great things this year. That group of guys has done a lot of great things the past few years, really cementing and laying the foundation for, you know, what is expected when you play baseball up here in Belle Fourche. You know, our other teams playing this summer, our 14U Teener team, that was kind of the other team that we put a lot of emphasis on this summer. They had an outstanding year. You know, winning season. I think they went 14-9 overall. But they really won. I think they won about 10 of their last 12 games. They really went on a run at the end of the season. Handled their region very easily. We were matched up with Spearfish and Hot Springs in our region. We actually hosted that up here in Belle Fourche at the beginning of July. And then we went and played in the state tournament at Elk Point Jefferson. Beautiful field that they have out there, and our guys showed up. Kay and Howard pitched a tremendous first game, went 6 innings, struck out 12 against a Madison team that was really, really experienced, really big team too. You know, we lost in the semifinals, but we came back in the third place game against T Area, and we were able to beat them with a nice team effort in the bottom of the 6th. We scored 5 runs to take the lead Then we finished it out in the 7th, and it was really nice to reward those younger players, those 14U players that most of them played JV in the high school season, to give them something and an experience, and they showed up and they played very well this year. We had a couple players hitting very well. Carson Hani played very well. Trig Thompson played very well on that 14U team. Again, Kay and Howard did a great job pitching that first game. Trig Thompson pitched that third place game for us and went the complete game for it. But just what they were able to do this year was great to see. Really kind of, cementing that foundation for essentially what we're planning on being our next wave of great baseball up here in Belle Fourche. And then our last, our third team that played this summer really didn't play much together because of the way the numbers worked out. Our Junior Legion team, our 16U, made another trip to the state tournament, our third trip in a row, qualifying for state. We didn't play much together this year just because of numbers on our 12-person roster. 8 of those players played on that 14U team that went to state, and then the other players played some significant innings on our varsity team, our Senior Legion team. So just with numbers and pitching and arms and matchups, we really didn't get to play much together. We only played 3 games with that team before going to regionals, but we went to regionals and they really showed up and performed well. We were matched up with Winter Cologne, Martin, and Stanley County in our regional tournament. We were able to come away runner-up. We went 2-1. We fell to Winter Cologne in a really tough matchup. We had 6 scoreless innings against them, but then they just, 1 inning against a good ball club, and they took advantage of it, made a couple mistakes. But we really kind of answered that one. We played Martin after that. Nolan Wallfelt started on that game. Went 6 2/3 and struck out 15 players. So just tremendous effort on the mound. Only gave up 1 hit. And we were able to win that one in a really, really close ball game that showed a lot of grit from these young guys, a lot of fortitude just to continue to persevere and play through and come out and win that game. And then we punched our ticket to state by beating Stanley County. It was kind of back and forth throughout. One thing that doesn't go unnoticed with that regional tournament was we played those games the day after our 14U played in the state tournament. So with a team that had so many players that played in that 14U teener state, we were really kind of hurting for arms. We didn't have all of our pitchers that we'd like to have available, so we had to rely on some guys that hadn't pitched much throughout the year. And again, also I think we played in the 2 hottest days all summer down there in Martin, where they were hosting the regional, and again, our guys persevered through. It took them a while, but then in about the 4th or 5th inning, we really started putting the bat on the ball. We were hitting it hard. We were starting to take advantage of some mistakes that Stanley County was making, and we were able to get that 10-run rule in effect and finish that game in the 6th inning. Again, to allow our Junior Legion team to make our 3rd consecutive trip to the state tournament. Just finished up with that state tournament over the weekend. First round we played Warner Ipswich Northwestern, WIN, out of Northeast South Dakota. They were 12-0 on the year after their regionals, and in their regionals they played 3 regional games and they outscored their competition 56-6 runs. And we came in there and Nolan started for us again. We knew that they were a talented team, and he really did a great job of shutting them down. It was a shutout, only gave up 4 hits, and he struck out 13, and he was able to pitch that complete game. Phenomenal appearance by him, great start, and we were able to get that win 3-0. And to beat a team that was as successful as WIN was this year was just a great start to that tournament. Great boost, especially like I said, a lot of those guys were some younger guys, so for them to see that experience, that higher competition, that 16U level, and have some success, I think it's going to be great for them in the future. We played in the semifinals against Winter Cologne. We've held them pretty tough for a few innings, but then they kind of again capitalized on a couple mistakes that we had before we ended up playing. In the 3rd, 4th place game, we played Sioux Falls Christian, and they were a very, their coach said that they were a very experienced team, a lot of 16-year-olds, very veteran group for that age age division, and we were right there. We just fell a little bit short. We ended up losing that game by 1 run. But the boys played hard. They played hard all season. They played a lot of baseball, and it's a long season. If you look at the high school season combined with the Legion season, you're playing games from that last week in March all the way through that first week in August. And the great thing is we've got a lot of talented players that love baseball, and doesn't matter how long that season goes. They all the way to that last out, they were giving it everything they had, and really, really excited, with what those young guys showed this year for what we got coming ahead the next couple years.
Coach, what's the outlook for the off season going into next year?
Right now we're just going to let these guys kind of rest a little bit, but these guys start hitting stuff in January, so want to make sure that they get some time to, recover and, kind of take some time off for baseball, so that way, baseball stays fun. That's kind of the most important thing. But looking ahead at next year, right around the corner is going to be the high school season again. We graduated 5 high school seniors this last year, so looking at our roster next year is we're going to be young. We'll be a younger team, but it's a team that I'm very excited to see what they can do. There's going to be some, every year there's players that step up that you don't expect, and this next year there's going to be a handful of players that we're going to ask to probably play at the varsity level a year or two earlier than what you'd like them to. We're going to probably have some freshmen starting on varsity next year, which it is what it is, but they're talented. They're going to be younger, but I know from what I've seen this summer with that 14 and under group, they're hungry to compete, and they're a bunch that's starting to learn how to win, and that's just going to be so important for us next year. Again, with a kind of a change of the guard, if you will, the last 2 years, we've had a lot of guys that have been starting on that varsity team for a long time. Now we're going to see some new faces, and excited to see what some of these younger guys, some of these 14-year-olds, what they did this summer, the improvements they've made in the last year or two. Excited to see them continue to build off that, and really, looking forward and excited for what this next wave of ball players is going to be for our varsity team next spring.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you taking time.
I appreciate you guys coming up here. A couple snowfalls coming up. Be back at it again in a few months. So always great to have you guys out here, asking about Belle Fourche baseball, and really, like I said, I'm already looking forward to next season. Just got to get through a cold winter and get these guys back in the cages, and then we'll be ready to go for our 2024 season.